right. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining me today to discuss on our paper, Motion, a smart project management and commit tracking application. My name is Shivani, and I'm delighted to be presenting our application to you all. Before we begin, I would like to take a moment to introduce my team. My teammates are Aditya Nair, Aditya Solanki, and Anurag Patil, and we are a team of four final year students from MIT ADT University, guided by our mentor, Professor Bhagyashree Shenkar ma'am. So, as most developers would agree, to learn how to code, one needs to create something. And therefore, to help students gain some hands on experience, post coding institutions, including our own university, um, they conduct this course called Mini Project as their coursework. The aim of these projects is to force students to think like developers and get exposed to languages and tools that can later help them excel in their career. However, there isn't any software available in the market that enables the smooth running of this coursework. Thus, our team decided to come up with a solution that can combat these problems. Problems such as lack of sense of responsibility and accountability among students regarding many projects, lack of communication between student and guides and coordinators, lack of proper system to evaluate students accurately, and more. So most organizations, including our university, encourages the use of Scrum development for project development, but they tell us to use an Excel sheet like the one that is being shown to you right now, which is sadly neither effective nor efficient. And therefore, we came up with this application which allows teams to develop projects using Scrum development while maintaining transparency and coordination between teams and their guides. One of the things that make us unique is that we don't just write the task and update the status from to do to done like other popular applications like Trello, Asana, or Jira. But along with that, we also track the GitHub commits that are made to complete these tasks. Hence, making sure that there is continuous integration, development, and zero fraud and complete agile development.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Aditya Solanki. So I'll be going over the concepts and the methods of our project. So one main concept, like Shivani mentioned, is the agile methodology, Scrum. So agile methodology is a flexible, collaborative approach to project management that prioritizes delivering of working software quickly and responding to changes. As you can see in this diagram, there are different entities: stakeholders, project owners, development team, and the customer. So generally what happens is in a large even in the MNCs where when the projects are of large scale, right, the development team have been given tasks by the project owner, and the development team delivers those tasks to the customers. But due to certain changes the customer requires and wants, these these new tasks has been added to the product owner. So the continuous development keeps on happening. This cycle is being handled by the agile methodology. Next page. So there are multiple agile frameworks, as you can see, Kanban board and a Scrum board. Scrum board is a Kanban board is a visual tool that helps teams to manage workflows by visualizing work items and their status. As you can see, we have a backlog, we have a work in progress and validate. As soon as a task has been done, it's been validated and then it's finished. And as soon as these are completed, a new task may be added later on. So that goes into the backlog list. Similarly, in the Scrum board, it emphasizes on the teamwork, communication, and iterative development. This iterative development is nothing but a sprint. Each sprint, a certain task has to be completed. These tasks are being decided by the Scrum manager. So as you can see in this diagram, it is divided into two parts. The above is for the sprint 1 and the below is for sprint 2. And there can be many sprints until the project finishes. Next slide. So the other thing that we're using is the version control system. So like Shivani mentioned, that it's the commit tracking and collaborative working tool in which each commits that's being made into the project is being tracked and is being stored as an history, and which can be viewed by other people in the who are working on the same project. And this encourages collaborative working and helps to review the commits, review the code made by other people in the project in the team. Next slide. So for our paper, we have done a literature survey on multiple multiple domains, and the first is that we did the comparative analysis of the agile project management tools that are already existing in the market. We also focused on some of the uh, project system that are already made by some researchers or some university students. So here's a list of these literature surveys. So first, and we can see a web-based student project management system. So here they have 5 module allocations for communication, project management, file sharing, and repository. So although it has a lot of facilities, it does still lack the Scrum and the Kanban, which is part of the Agile methodology. So similarly, there are comparative analysis of the Agile project management tools. And so in these analysis, we focused on what are the uh, key areas that these Agile project management tools analyzes the projects, the team's uh, project status, and works gives them a illustrative view of what they are working on and how they can continue to improve on. Excellent. Next slide. So here are some more surveys, and we can see there is a design and implementation of the similar web-based project management system for university students. Although it does cover a lot of benefits for a lot of features and benefits for the students, but it still lacks the evaluation part where we are trying to build on. That is the commit tracking. So here's a study we've made on the literature survey from the design and the comparative analysis of different project management tools. We like to move on to the next slide. So here are the gap identification. So first of all, there is a lack of project management student design specifically for college students. So and there's a limitation of customization options. Some of these already existing tools are very complex and overwhelming for the students, university students. And all of these are priced at a very high range because they are basically for the MNCs and big tech companies to be used. So there's a bit of lack of integration with other tools and specifically for commit tracking or for the evaluation basis of the student.
So now I would like to take you all through the project plan of our software. So from the landing page, the project itself is segregated into 3 interfaces, namely for guide, the coordinator, and the student. So 3 of them, all of them log in, and after login, they have a dashboard. And from that is the point from where it segregates. All have different interfaces. So going through the guide will have 2 options. Either to add a project to the project hub or to become a panel member. So I'll come to the project hub part. So the let's go to the becoming a panel member part. So once a student submits a project, the student, the ideas submitted by the students, they are ought to be presented to the faculty members, and the faculty member chooses one project on which the student will work for the rest of the semester. So the manual process in which this panel is allocated, that this task is done by the coordinator, and the coordinator does this in a very manual process. The coordinator actually maps every single guide to the respective teams, and then make sure that one guide is not allocated 2 meetings at the same time, and it's a very hectic process. And when the number of teams are large, in case of a large admission, in case of large number of students, then it becomes really, really inefficient. For example, imagine mapping 25 people to 500 teams. That is like, doing it manually is unimaginable. So in order to automate this thing, this is one of the coolest feature of our project, that automatic time scheduling takes place. And this time scheduling algorithm makes sure that no one guide is allocated 2 teams at a time, while they are judging a particular project. And so the guide logs into the interface, and then the guide can browse through the ideas submitted by the students. And then according to the domain and the specialization of the guide can select a project on which they would like to be a panel member of. And then for now, we have kept the maximum number of panel member in a particular panel to be 3. So it's like, you're logging in and you're like booking a seat to be to judge a particular project, right? So yeah, so the guide has the right to choose any project of their interest, and then after guide selects the seat, the time allocation takes place. And after the finalization of the project, the guide is supposed to choose a project on which they would like to mentor mentor the students. So again, the guide goes through the list after the topic is finalized, goes through the list and then selects a team, and then they are allotted as a guide for the rest of the coursework. And then going ahead, the guide supervises all the projects. And for the coordinator, this is actually the very first step. The coordinator actually logs in into the app and then uploads the data of the guides and the students in an Excel sheet. Once the Excel sheet is uploaded, the sheet is passed in our backend, and then the students are divided into teams, and all this data is added into a database. The same goes for guides as well. All the data for the guides, for example, their specialization, their field of work, their area of special, the area of their interest, everything is uploaded into the database. And then after the student and the guide the student and the guide data is uploaded, the other uh, the other task of the coordinator include arranging review meetings in the course of the project work. Review one meeting, review two meeting, and that is what agile development is all about: having review meetings and iterating through the development process. And then obviously the coordinator is has the topmost role here, so they will have access to track all the projects, have an overview of all the projects where every project is stands. And then when the guide logs in, uh, I told you that the guide chooses the idea for which they would like to be a panel member of. So that is what it means to choose project from Project Hub or fill a format. And then uh, yeah, so when the student logs in, the student can either choose a project from Project Hub. So the guide comes in and submits a project, and these projects are from organization funded by organizations. So the student has two options here: either they can submit their own three ideas, or they can apply to one of those sponsored projects which the guide uploaded in the Project Hub, right? And then the project finalization of the student takes place, and then after project is finalized, the topic is finalized, the student creates a GitHub repo, and that repo, we track that repo using GitHub APIs for commit tracking and task tracking, and then the student completes the project.
Now heading on towards the system requirement specifications that the project management system should have. First, we'll go on to functional requirements. So it is really critical to have the interface segregation that we are going to implement in our project, so that the guide, the coordinator, and the students each will be having different interfaces according to their authority to access their data. And the next thing we are going to implement, that is the project tracking, which is really important, so that each and every commit is tracked. And most of the time it happens that some of the project team members are doing their job uh, respectively, while some of them are not contributing enough to the project. So uh, just so that this does not happen, we are also including project tracking. So the responsibility for the work could be taken. And heading on towards the task management, we will be implementing Kanban. We have actually included Kanban and Scrum in our project for the same purpose. And for document management, we are having specific portals for uploading different files and documents as well. And even for the editing of the documents, we are having specific pages on our website for the task. And going ahead, yeah, we have Kanban and Scrum board implemented for task management. And heading on towards the non-functional requirements, first, the performance of the system. Sorry, the the performance of the system should be able to handle like a large number of users and multiple projects simultaneously. And the system should be scalable and capable of handling increased traffic and data volume without compromising the performance. Uh, Heading on next for the security, uh, and for performance to be able to handle these large amounts of data, we are using merge stack architecture so that our system is well scalable and easily maintainable. And heading on towards the security, it is as we all know, currently the major part of discussion has become security. So for that, we have kept this interface segregation part so that only the authorized people, like only your guide or the coordinator, will be able to access the critical data that we are keeping, because every student's data will be held in our database. So this is a really critical part. And heading on towards the usability, the system uh, the system should be accessible from different devices, including desktop, laptop, tablets, and smartphones, and for which we have developed this uh, web page which is responsive, so it works really well on all these devices. We have already tried and tested as well, and it works seamlessly on all these platforms. And heading on towards compatibility, the system should be compatible with different operating systems, including Windows, Macs, Linux, and Android's iOS, and everything. So, which is also we've kept in mind, and we've made it compatible on all these platforms. And heading on towards the user experience, like as we all know, it is one of the most critical part, and user experience has to be really impressive. The system should be able to provide seamless and engaging user experience with features such as drag and drop functionality, real-time updates, and interactive dashboards, which you all will be able to see on the next slide, which would be our project presentation example. So, go ahead.
So here's a short video to illustrate the working of motion. There's role-based access. So there are three main roles: student, guide, and coordinator. There is proper login functionality implemented for all kinds of users to allow login using OTP. And the first step is that the coordinator will get in touch with motion and a profile will be created for him or her. And the coordinator will then go ahead and log in using OTP verification. And then the coordinator will upload Excel sheets of student and guide, and respectively profiles will be created for all guides and students. The proper database management is done to store all user and project data. And this is Project Hub, a place where special projects like faculty projects or the projects given to university by esteemed organizations are posted. Guides and coordinators both can post their projects over here, and have been given the functionality to filter based on domain type or status. They can also check the applications for these projects that student teams submit, so that they can finalize the team of their choice based on their project proposals. Students have access to Project Hub too. They can apply to any project of their interest to the application. And along with that, they can also submit Form A, like this, where basically Form A is a form which contains 3 project ideas that students have to submit, that they are proposing to work on for the present semester. Once it's filled, all the team members have to approve the form. And once all the team members approve of the form, then only final submission can be done. After this phase, presentations are held to finalize the project, and for this purpose, we do proper panel formation and time scheduling through our application. Once the project idea finalization is done, the student project GitHub repository is tracked, and meaningful insights are tracked and illustrated through our dashboard. This helps maintain This helps maintain transparency between students and guides, and maintains transparency on the amount and kind of work that every student does. To manage deadlines better, students can also use calendars. Calendars that are shared with the team members of their team, and they can also use Kanban boards as a good agile practice. So that's about our application. Moving forward to the conclusion.
Yeah, so I would like to conclude by mentioning some of the key features. Like it obviously facilitates the implementation of mini project in any organization, and it also features apt evaluation, which helps guides to evaluate students in general in a teamwork and their individual performances as well. And then obviously I told you that it also provides a iterative development. So there will be a better communication between the guides and the students. And it helps coordinator to automate tasks like mapping the students and the guides and arranging the review meetings and all. Thank you.
Any questions from the session chairs?
Uh, Students, your title, your work and concept is so very good. And I think your title is the Motion Smart Project Management and Commit Tracking Applications, right?
Yes.
Okay. So in your project, you are using Agile methodology, right? Okay. So why are you selecting the Agile methodology as compared to the SDLC model?
Sir, could you repeat the question?
Why are you selecting this Agile methodology as compared to the SDLC model? SDLC model.
Sir, agile development is a kind of methodology that can be used in your software development life cycle. And usually in projects, so most of us who are engineers in computer science engineering universities or institutes, we all are aiming to be good software developers. And in most MNCs or even startups, people use Scrum development using agile methodology. So why is this done? It is done because there's continuous integration and development, and thus continuously there is development in the kind of product that uh, organization sells. So the thing is, if we need to become a better engineer, we need to understand how to continuously work on a project, how to keep making it better, and for that, almost all institutions encourage their students to use agile methodology for their mini project completion. However, this isn't ensured that all students use agile methodology or complete their projects on time, and that is why many students don't even participate in major project or mini project completion. And because of that, many students in their third year also struggle writing a simple C++ code, even though their branch is computer science engineering. So if this application is mandated, so all the students will be forced to work on their projects, to learn tools and languages, and to learn how to collaborate and work in teams. That is why in our software development life cycles, we are using agile methodology to ensure that students learn the true spirit of being a software developer through their universities and institutes.
Okay. Students, Agile methodology, which type of the software development model used for developing the any kind of the project?
So we are using Kanban boards in our application.
I think it's a combination of the iterative and the incremental model, now.
Right.
Combination of the iterative and incremental model, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Why we have to use both the concept on a one platform for developing the software?
So because any project like any project, including many projects that students take up for the semesters, they have to be completed one task after other. Small chunks have to be completed, and there should be continuous development. Students should actually learn. Students should actually develop, and that is why incremental model, it is important that you increment while creating your application, and that is why we are using this. And along with that, not just our university but almost all universities ask their students to use agile development.
Okay, good. And what is the difference between the crystals methodology and agile methodology?
I'm not sure, does anyone in the team know?
You heard the name of the FDD? FDD is a property of the agile methodology.
So we don't know of it.
Okay. Okay, good. Thank you very much. Sir, this is my side, sir. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We would surely like to learn about it.
Yes. Good.